Welcome back to another edition of the USD 239 School Update. I'm Superintendent Chris Vignery. Today's guest I have here is Ashley Johnson. She is our Parents as Teachers Coordinator, and we're excited to have her here to tell about her program. But first of all, I'd like to ask her a little bit to tell the audience, if they don't know you, a little bit about yourself.
I grew up in and around the Minneapolis area. I grew up on a farm family, and about a decade ago, my husband and I moved back to the area so he could help my father on the farm. So farming has always been a part of my life. It's very important to my husband, to the kids. It's part of our daily life, whether we're taking care of cows or moving vehicles. I'm married with 3 kids. And we've started a new chapter in our life because all of our kids are in school full-time this year. This is the first time that they've all been in the grade school this year. So it's been very different at our house this year.
Good. So how long have you been the Parents as Teacher Coordinator, and what actually interested you about this position?
I have been in this position for 3 years. Before I took this position, my family was enrolled in Parents as Teachers on and off for the 7 years. All 3 of my kids were raised in Parents as Teachers. When I heard Miss Pam was stepping down, I was instantly drawn to the program. 1, I love families and kids, but 2, I love the impact this program has on the community, and I wanted to make sure that it was still here and was still growing strong.
Great. So what qualifications for families, what are the qualifications for families if they want to be involved with their children and Parents as Teachers?
Parents as Teachers is one of my favorite parts about the program. It's a universal program. There are no qualifications. If you live within the school district and you have kids under the age of 5, you qualify. You don't have to meet income requirements, you don't have to meet developmental requirements. You just have to live in the school district.
Okay. And what age did you say again?
We can do prenatal through 5.
Prenatal through 5, okay. So what do you do with the parents? I mean, what services with the kids and the parents? What do you do for a visit?
Visits it depends on the family. We can either do monthly or twice a month visits. We usually bring developmental information. We bring a game or an activity that the families can do with the kid. And then we also provide developmental screenings for development and hearing and vision. Usually on the vision, we try to encourage them to go to the optometrist here in town. They will do free vision screenings. But we can do a very basic vision screening just to make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. And then we provide group activities for the families and Parents as Teachers, and even for families not in Parents as Teachers. We try to offer quite a few in the community throughout the year. So a chance to meet some other families, a chance to provide some developmental opportunities for the kids.
Okay, so that goes into this next question. So why should I? What's the importance of taking advantage of this? Why should a family take advantage of this?
That is a great question, and I can talk a lot about it, so I will try not to. Early childhood has always been kind of overlooked, probably not in the last 30 years, but before that, historically, little kids were kind of written off. I mean, one conference I went to, they talked about how even if there were kids present during a domestic violence incident, they were never questioned. It wasn't even documented on the police report until like the last few years. So they have really overlooked early childhood, which is kind of crazy to me because most of the brain development is between ages 3 to 5, or actually by 3, and then again up until 5. That's where most of the brain development is. So it's kind of crazy that it's just becoming a hot topic, but it's really become a hot topic. And the most recent research is really showing that brains are built, they're not born. Whereas always before we kind of thought that brains were born, but they're really built, and they're built on experiences that happen to children when they're young. And brain development is kind of incredible, but brains can develop a sturdy foundation or they can build a damaged foundation, and that really depends on the experiences that child experiences in their early years. To build a sturdy foundation, it's nothing crazy, it's nothing fancy. It's just having one person that they feel safe and secure and loved with. It means reading to them, holding them, cuddling them, having some sort of routine so they kind of know what to expect day to day. It's nothing crazy, but for a damaged foundation, the stress, the fear, really alters how that brain is developed the rest of their life. And why it can be fixed. It's much, much easier to start with a sturdy foundation and start doing these things that aren't crazy by any means, but are necessary for early childhood. And that's where parents as teachers comes in, because we can give that developmental piece of what's important and why these aren't anything special or crazy. We can encourage the parents, because sometimes parents think it's weird to talk to their infants and just tell them about everything they're seeing or doing. And a lot of times those conversations don't have to involve words. You can mimic facial expressions back and forth. We call it serve and return. But mimicking facial expressions, just making sounds back and forth. A lot of times it's not words, but a lot of times parents feel kind of weird doing that with an infant, or even reading a book. I mean, it's so important to read to an infant, but a lot of times we don't think we need to do that until they will sit still and listen to it, and that's not the case at all. So parents and teachers provides that developmental information to know kind of the things to watch for and to look for, and that, they're probably going to start throwing temper tantrums around 14 months, and that's completely normal. There's nothing wrong with that. They're not being bad. They're just experiencing the world. And then we do developmental screenings to make sure they are where they need to be. If they're not, we help them find the resources they need to help the kids get ready for school.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Eagle Marketing Solutions is here, and we're ready to help you reach your advertising goals. With Eagle, you can advertise locally on 40 TV networks, or advertise regionally and reach thousands of customers, and maximize your advertising with online campaigns. Our local team will create a plan that's affordable for you.
Eagle Communications, on community connected.
Welcome back to the second half of our USD 239 school update. So we've been talking about parents as teachers, and you've been sharing some of the importance of why to be a part of this program. So do parents, do you have a waiting list? Do you have room for more of our children?
I probably have room for one or two more families, and then we'll start a waiting list.
Okay, and the students need to be in our school district in Ottawa County?
Yes.
Okay, so
yeah, sometimes we can make allowances, but for the most part, yes.
Okay, so students who live in our district and in Ottawa County, they probably have first come, first.
Yes.
Okay. So as far as is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you'd like to share with us about your program?
We have quite a few events throughout the community, throughout the year. But one of my favorites is the Budding Bookworms. The Minneapolis Public Library and parents as teachers partner together and do a story time every Wednesday at 10 o'clock at the public library. We also have play groups that are the first and third Monday of the month at the parents as teacher playroom. So there's quite a few opportunities for families with little ones if they want to get to know people in the community or find some kids for their children to play with. There's quite a few opportunities in the community.
Okay, great. And your office building is behind the high school, just to the east of the high school there in the back. And do you go to the parents' homes, or do they come to your office?
Typically to the home.
Okay. If they don't want to come to the home, though, they would come to the...
We've had a few come to the office for different reasons.
Okay.
And then also through funding of the Dane Hansen Foundation, we have the opportunity to have the Imagination Library. So any child living within our school district, whether they're in parents as teachers or not, can sign up online to receive books, free books for their children until the age of 5.
Where do they go online to do that?
The Imagination Library.
Okay.
And there's an area where you can search to see if your area has service. And then once they're there, you can register from there. Or you can register at the health department.
Okay. All right. Well, I do appreciate you coming here today, but I do have one more question to ask you, or to maybe we can get a little advertisement in for this. You are a big part of starting the Summer Cafe program, which is not affiliated with the school, but I thought what a great opportunity for you to maybe share a little bit here about what the Summer Cafe did for our students and parents of the community.
The Summer Cafe started last year. We planned all school year, but we started serving in June, and we served June, July, and then part of August. We stopped right before school started. During that, I think it was 11 weeks, we served over 2,000 meals, which is incredible to me. When we planned, we kind of averaged 50 a day, and that's pretty much where we were at. But 2,000 meals is just incredible. The first day we served, we were at a store. My son and I went to one of the stores in town, and the lady at the store had no clue who we were. But she's like, oh man, that Summer Cafe is a lifesaver. It's a godsend, because I did not know how I was going to feed my family this summer. We heard stories like that off and on through the summer, and she didn't know I was helping plan it.
Oh, that's
We
awesome.
were just having that conversation. So there were several conversations like that. There were several families that were there quite often. And while we were able to serve families and provide a meal for any child in Ottawa County, and we didn't ask where anybody was. So if they came, we gave them food. It was amazing to see the community support. We served Monday through Friday, and so every day a different church took care of the cooking and the serving and the cleanup. And so just to see the different people that would pitch in and help was incredible. We had no problems fundraising. It was probably the smoothest, I mean, it was totally an act of God, but it was probably one of the smoothest large group thing.
It all came together.
Yes, it all came together, which is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, we had very few issues or problems. It was so smooth, which was totally God. That was
great.
not us.
Yeah.
But we are in the process of planning for next year. One of the things we would like to try to do is branch it out to serve the rest of Ottawa County. So finding key stakeholders in the other communities that can help us plan and figure out what's going to work best for their community is what we're trying to find right now. Because we don't feel like we can force it on the other communities if they're...
Well, if somebody's
You know what?
interested in helping, who would they get in touch with?
Myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we will conclude with that. I appreciate your time, and I thank you so much. Ashley's a part of two great programs here in the community. Of course, Parents as Teachers, which is she's doing a phenomenal job. And so if you'd like for your child to be a part of that, please get in touch with her. You can always contact the district office as well. We can put you in touch with her. And the Summer Cafe, if you'd like to be a part of that and help out or learn more, just give her a call as well. We thank you for being a part of the show, and we'll see you next month.